Hey, I'm Dan, and this is Dan's Planes. And I'm back with another maintenance video, this time for the Model Aviation Plans Built MiG-3. Last time I flew this was at the Dino Di Giorgio event, I believe in October of 2024. It's now February 2025, so I'm maintaining a lot of planes before the season is warm enough for me to want to fly, which means above 65 degrees. We have a few days here and there, but most of the days are below that, so I choose not to fly and maintain aircraft for the next season. So, what's going on with this one? This one, I had actually given this to Brian with Tailored Warbirds. He's up in Ohio, and the idea was for him to keep it. And when I go to his event annually, I would fly up there, and then I would be able to fly this airplane. I'd have an airplane to fly. But then I changed my mind. I had lots of problems with the BME 45, I think it was in there. Um, I I couldn't get it to low idle. If you were flying and then you took it to low idle, it might take 30 seconds for it to finally spool down to low idle, which when you're trying to come in for a landing is a long time, hoping that it's going to spool down. So I have a few DA50s brand new that I got from the last Savannah estate sale that I bought and resold items. I kept 3 DA50s brand new. So I talked to Brian and talked him into uh, replacing the BME with the DA50 that's in there now. He also did some modification work on the spinner. He also painted the cowl and spinner, but he had problems with the paint, which then my starter tore up the spinner. He put in a choke servo. He also put in 2 different batteries. And then in this compartment, he made kind of a shelving system for it. So all of that got done, which then made me excited to want to fly it. And he was coming down for that Dino event. So I asked him to bring that down. We then brought it down and flew it, and we proved once and for all it was not me that when it landed, when I was flying it, it kept flipping over on its nose. And I'm telling you, I came in butter and it didn't matter. And I had Brian fly it. He came in butter, flipped over. I had another guy, PJ, fly it. He was able to do it, but he had to really be on the elevator to do it. And our thoughts were we needed to move the wheels forward more, which we tried doing. That still didn't do it. We moved them forward some more, and I've not flown it yet. But the idea is the wheels are not far enough forward. I also wonder if maybe it's too nose heavy CG wise. I also wonder if changing from 4-inch wheels to 5-inch wheels would help on grass that may have dirt clumps in it. So I am going to change to 5-inch wheels, and I'm going to be flying it on my paved runway at my home field and get used to landing it there and doing whatever elevator work I need to do there. She is a floater big time, so it's kind of hard to get her to slow down. She's still very much a pussycat with that DA50 in there. She is not a fast plane by any means, but she's easy to fly and she's fun and looks good in the air. The other way to add gear to this more forward would be to add some L brackets here and then add in like a 3D landing gear, graphite or aluminum, having the wheels come out here. But that kind of takes away from the look of the plane. So I'd really rather not do that if I don't have to, if I can just learn to fly it with the elevator and not tip it over. So changing from 4-inch to 5-inch wheels is one thing I got to do. I switched over from this being a Spektrum radio. I was flying on Brian's radio. I changed it over now to my Radiomaster. The only problem I had is I could not get the idle to go down low enough. which I think at Dino's we had the same issue, and we were thinking maybe because it's not quite broken in, that we may have to deal with a slightly higher idle. But with the way she floats on coming in and the way that I seem to go long on landings or come in fast on landings, I'd really like to have that low end dialed in. I looked at the servo, and the servo is mechanically maxing out when it's at the lowest throttle. So I think I need to probably tighten the push rod in so that it could go a little bit lower on the idle. So I think we were actually mechanically maxed out, and it may not be that it's a new engine. So I'll find that out. I'm going to take off the spinner, the cowl, the throttle servo down here. I went to take the horn out to see what I could play with, and the horn screw was stripped, so I'm going to replace this with a HS645. So I'll get that swapped out. Then this panel here, it's got different screws, which technically you should use different size screwdrivers to not strip it. I don't want to do that. I want to have 4 of the same screws. Also, the screws have stripped out of their blocks underneath, so I'm going to have to replace some of those blocks and make sure they're hardwood, not balsa, and fix that. So, also, there are missing 2 pieces of machine guns that go on top of the cowl. So I'm going to put those back on. And that's it. I haven't decided if I want to put lights on it yet. Chances are I'm probably going to put those Amazon $30 lights on there. Those things are just the best thing, man. I mean, $30, the batteries last for a long time. You can see them in the daytime, but they also help when you're transitioning from sky down to trees and to ground. The airplane tends to disappear right at that point, and those things are great to make sure that your wings are level and that you can still see them. You can look them up at Amazon. They're just called lights for RC plane. Easy enough. You get red, green, and white. So pretty cool. Downside is you only get 1 charging cable. I'm sorry, two different types of charging cables when you have 3 lights. But if you buy enough of these lighting systems, then you end up with 3 of them anyway, so you can charge all 3 at the same time. So all you do is just Velcro them on. You don't want to stick them on with their adhesive double tape, because you've got to remove them to charge. So it's kind of weird they would have stick on, but you just Velcro them and they're fine. I've only lost 1 light over the past couple years. So that's what's going on with this. Just wanted to give an update, and I'll probably give an update when all is finished and tell you if I ran into any other issues. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next clip. With a quick update, I took the 4-inch wheels off. I went to put the 5-inch wheels on, and I had to widen the axle diameter in the wheel hub. And I did that, and there wasn't a flat spot drilled for the wheel collar, so I went ahead and drilled those. It had Loctite. Those were kind of a pain to get off, which is a good sign. I put Loctite back on, so we're good there. And I've stripped off all the covering on this. A corner piece broke off. I did some sanding and re-glued it. Now need to cover it, then drill 4 new holes and screw that on, and then we're ready to run an engine on a beautiful day like today. So I got the hatch on here. I drilled my 4 holes, screwed in my screws. The very last screw I screwed in, the retaining block broke off. So made a new one, and I think the last one was CA'd. I'm gonna epoxy this one just to make sure, and then re-drill. Well, I downloaded my videos, my updates that I've been doing on this, and 3 out of 6 videos had no sound, so that was just fantastic. So I'll try to update again from memory what I talked about there. As far as the throttle servo, I replaced that. I found that where the servo mechanically maxed out in a closed throttle position, it also had mechanically maxed out the throttle barrel arm. So I can't make the push rod any shorter. Trying to get it to close more to get lower RPMs. So maybe the RPMs are just from it being a new engine. If anybody has any tips or tricks, please throw them in the comment below, getting those RPMs down. I also added labels showing what was open, what's closed. Also did that on my choke servo. Comes in handy when you're at the field and you're troubleshooting, things like that. I went through, put in dowels, and also some wedges of wood in here and some thin and thick CA. Let's see, what else did I do? I know I've done stuff. This, I've now epoxied in this block, so now I can re-drill that to put the cover on. So that should take care of the cover. I also added my owner contact information I've never had on the plane because I just kept forgetting. So that's taken care of. The wheels are switched over now. They didn't fit that axle, so I had to re-drill them. That was no biggie. And then I ground down a flat spot for the wheel collar set screw to go in, threw in some Loctite, tighten that up. So now we've got 5-inch wheels, so that's good. So what else? Now I just need to rescrew this cover on, and then I think we're ready to put the front end without the cowl back on, just so I have access to it, because I want to take it out on this beautiful day and get some run time and try to set my end points now that I've converted to Radiomaster, and find out what my RPMs are going to be. I'm swinging a 2012 on a DA50. This hatch cover is vexing me. As I screwed in the screws this time, this one cracked. I had to pull it, chisel it out, put a new one in. Then where I drilled using the hole that was already there, and the way that it ended up, it went between the wood block I had and the firewall, you can see there, which then split the wood off. This is 5-minute epoxy. I let it cure for about an hour and a half, so I don't know why that happened. But now I'm doing a bigger piece that I can apply more epoxy to, and I put that one in. So now I'll let those guys cure, and then go and try it again. Trying to get out on this beautiful day, run the engine, but this thing is killing me right now. All right, for the third time, this hatch is now done. It's not going anywhere, but we will see after a vibrating engine vibrates it for a while. We shall see. So I did not get outside today. Tomorrow is supposed to rain at 2 o'clock, so if I can get out there early, get outside early, try to get this engine going. I'm converting my gas engines to 40-to-1 oil and gas using Redline oil. I've been running 30-to-1 and been getting a lot of carbon and a lot of people have recommended going that 40-to-1 route, so I'm doing that. I don't know what that's going to mean as far as engine adjustments, if any, but I'm going to leave the cowl off and just put the prop and spinner back on, and run it and try to be able to tweak it. So we'll see what kind of RPMs we get and set the endpoints. That'll be tomorrow. Well, it's a beautiful day out here. I'll be at Wendy. She's running like a champ. I get the low RPM down to 1800. It kind of bounces 1800 to 2000. Go any lower, then it's going to die on me. High RPM 7300, and the transition is good. So I just got to put a couple machine guns on the top of the cowl, and all the maintenance on this is considered done. Here she is, all fixed up and ready to fly. I've added the two little machine gun ends that go on the cowl. I went ahead and sanded and primered the spinner. The previous paint, Brian had a problem with the paint. It just wasn't setting up properly. So I sanded that off and put primer on. It's kind of nice being white. You can just throw primer on it and leave it at that. I'm going to see if that's going to hold up to being fuel proof or not. It's Rust-Oleum primer. So she is done. She is ready to fly. And there are the wings. Yes, this is the rest of my garage. After my Zero, I think I'm going to go to the Cap 580 here. Get that one going. I don't know. It's either that or rebuild the Focke-Wulf 190. And there's the P51 ready to go. There's my spare, which one is this? The World Models Zero, I think. Drawing a blank, putting me on the spot here. Anyway, she's ready to go. So if you guys don't mind, please like and subscribe. If you want to help fund projects and doing all this, you're welcome to make a donation to Patreon in the description. If not, no worries. And I wish you the very best of blue skies and good speed.